Hello everyone, and welcome once again to another video for the channel. On this occasion I bring you the full review of Hexerei, one of the best magic mods in all of Minecraft, and which it will be much more focused on the branch of witchcraft, creating an experience totally new and different from other similar mods. And as always, they already know it. Before starting, let me ask you to please subscribe and leave your like, since that will be helping me a lot to continue uploading content like this every week. And if you are not entirely convinced, you can take a look at my channel. I'm sure you might like something there. And what would become of all these mods if you couldn't play them with your friends with the best possible quality? For this, I recommend Olimpo Hosting, our powerful and sensual sponsor today.
¿Alguna vez
If you ever
habéis
wanted to
querido
play with
jugar?
your friends on a Minecraft server, but you didn't know which one? Well, look, Olimpo Hosting is one of your best options, since it will not only have excellent quality, price, but will also have an excellent customer service. Well, this one will have its own Discord, where you can ask things to the developers themselves. And if that were not enough, Olimpo Hosting also counts with its own mod and plugin installation service, in case you don't know how to do it. Well, if it doesn't seem enough to you, it seems a little expensive. Well, look, using the code PORK20 you will be paying 20% less discount, so that you can play with your friends in a way much more comfortable, and without losing all your money. And now yes, let's go for the video. Welcome to Hexerei, an incredible world of adventure and sorcery, which will improve enormously your experience in Minecraft, from a small improvement to the witches, new creatures that can keep you company, like crows and owls, plus a ton of new tools and mechanics that will be waiting for you in this new adventure. Well, first of all, this mod will be bringing a new book. And for those who have been on this channel for a while, you already know what this means. And yes, people, these types of mods come with a guide. It's because they have a lot, but really a lot of content to explain. To make it, we will need sage seeds. These will appear when breaking grass, similar to wheat seeds. And be careful that in order to use this book, we will also require a new type of table, the altar, which will be made with mahogany wood, a new type of tree that we will be able to find in the jungles. But besides this, we will also have two more: the willow, which will appear in swamps, and witch hazel, which will appear in birch forests. This one will have a special use in this mod, allowing us to create objects that we will see later, such as the woodcutter, where we can create slabs, gates, or fences with few materials, in addition to the new polished wood. Returning with the book, this will help us to know everything that we'll be bringing this mod, from important objects, how materials and tables work, in addition to bringing a page separator to quickly revisit important pages. As a curious fact, we will be able to use new glasses to see the book more closely by right-clicking. With these in your hand, we will be able to zoom like a telescope, or if we have them on like a helmet, just by pressing the Z key, we will be able to maintain zoom. These glasses, we can create them inside the mixing cauldron. And speaking of, the next thing we will see is the new mixing kettle, which will be done in the following way. This cauldron will be the centerpiece of the entire mod, with which we can obtain most new items. We will only have to throw objects at it, or also give it right-click to place them manually. This cauldron can be filled with 2 buckets of liquid, such as water, washes, or blood. For the latter, we will require the sigil of blood, which will be done as follows. To fill it with this liquid, you just have to jump it from this until it can be filled. If at any time we no longer want any of the liquids, we can drain it quickly with this button. Another thing about this cauldron is that on some occasions, the recipes will ask us for the water to be hot. We can do this by placing lava, magma block, or a bonfire beneath it. So good. Let's first talk about the simplest utility, the creation of potions. Because it is much larger than a normal cauldron, we can make up to 6 potions at a time. But for this, we must keep the cauldron hot. Place the buckets of water and throw the ingredients of your potion. For example, when creating a night vision potion, we will have to throw to nether warts and to golden carrots. Well, let's remember that the cauldron will be bigger, and you will only have to collect your potions, like bottles, following the path of potions. Now, let's make some candles. These will require a dipper, but first let's put it inside. 8 classic Minecraft candles, although we can also use honeycomb panels or animal fat, a new item that the sheep will drop, pigs or even cows. We fill the cauldron with water and wait for this to melt. Once this is done, now we must place the dipper and 3 strings, which will be the maximum number of objects that we can put on it. And here we will just have to wait. Once the candles are ready, now we can place it any of the following potions, because not all of them will be compatible. In this case, the slow poison potion, aquatic breathing, luck healing, speed damage, fireproof body strength, slow fall regeneration, super jump, and the dense potion, which will have the effect of making the rain stop. Depending on the potion's effect, it will last more or less. They have a range of approximately 6 blocks, although its durability may increase if we put a base on it. And we can also create candlesticks, although sadly they will only be something decorative. Now, let's continue with some basic tools. In this case, we will have the chests. These will practically be witch backpacks, and we can change their color with dye. When you put it in a crafting table, chests can be opened when you give them. Right-click on the hand, or place them on the floor. This is more intended for its function with crows. Well, if you noticed, I will have a small button to activate interaction with these. We will talk about this later. Just like the chests, we will have the new vases. This will only save 1 object, but it will have a capacity of 1024 of the same object. Just like the chest, we'll have the same function as the crows. The drying rack or dryer, as we will call it in this video. It will be a tool to dry plants or other objects, such as rotten meat or sponges. The plate of sage will be one of the most interesting objects, as it will prevent hostile creatures from being generated, and within a radius of 48 blocks. For this to work, we should place a bunch of dry sap on it. For this, we must first obtain the seeds. As I said, breaking the grass, plant them, and then obtain the sap. Tie it with a thread and leave it in the object dryer. Once obtained, we put it on the plate and light it on fire. Here we will have different modes in which we can see this effect in action. Just choose the one you like best. The mixing mortar. It will be a small tool for obtaining of new materials. Just put the ingredients of a recipe, and they will begin to mix. The crystal ball. It will be a tool created for the purpose of anticipate the lunar phase we will have that night. Can be useful for creating spells that require a certain lunar phase. The branch of dowsing. It is a small search tool that will allow us to find swamps and jungles. With shift and right click, we can alternate between these two biomes. Once the biome has been chosen, right clicking on the branch, we'll have located the nearest biome. If the leaves of the branch turn green, this will be the direction in which we should continue. We will have the witch armor. To be able to create it, first we will have to get the infused fabric. This will be in a cauldron with water, black dye threads, and leather, and that easy. Like normal armor, we will be able to get the witch's clothes, which will allow us to pass unnoticed by the witches. And we can even change the colors. With dye in addition to all this, have 2 of the 3 parts of the outfit. Not only will it prevent witches from attacking you, but will decrease magic damage by 50%. With the complete outfit, we will make a 25 and more magic damage, and 15% of that damage will restore our life. Then we will have the wax kit, which will be done in the following way, and we'll need wax to be able to recharge. We can do this inside the mortar. If we put it is next to the wax kit inside a table, crafting little by little, we will fill it. This will have a capacity of 156 objects. Now the way in which this will work, it will be to join textures of connected blocks, which, at least in this mod, will be the new carpets, large windows, or polished wood, giving us the opportunity to create paths and patterns with these blocks. Witches' brooms were special artifacts with the ability to take us flying around the world. And depending on the type of wood it is, has been used for its manufacture. Their stats will be different. Willow's wooden broom will be the slowest, but easy to manufacture. Witch Hazel's will be an intermission of the three. Not so fast, but not so difficult to do either. While the mahogany wood broom will be much faster, and above all, fire resistant. To be able to use it, we just have to place it, and then upload it with right click. To control it will not be very complicated. We will use space to go up and control to go down. When shift clicking and right clicking on a broom, we will open a small menu. Within this we will have 3 slots and an options button. It will help you keep the broom in place, floating or staying on the ground. Now focusing on the 3 options, we will have the brush. This will be the one that gives you the ability to fly. And we will have different types, each with a special ability. Let's start with the most complicated one, the enchanted brush. This will have the ability to be much more longer lasting than a normal brush. And I didn't tell you, this will be used up as you fly. To get the enchanted brush, first we need a normal brush. Then put it in the cauldron with other ingredients and plants. This is how we will get the wet brush. And then put it in the object dryer. The next one will be the moon brush, which will return faster. The broom, especially at night, is full moon. To create it, we will first need moon dust. Placing the following ingredients in a cauldron with water. Then we'll put it back on in the cauldron with an enchanted brush to obtain the wet moon dust brush. And we just hang it on the object dryer. And finally, we will have the propulsion brush. This one, at least for the moment, will not have any type of crafting or way to obtain it, but it will have the ability to increase your speed enormously without any restrictions. Continuing with the slots, we will have the luggage. This will be the place where we will place the new witch bags. First, we will have the small bag. This will allow us to store 9 objects inside it. Basically like a backpack. Then there is the medium set, which will have 18 spaces. And finally, as for basic bags, there is the big bag, which will have a capacity of 27 spaces. Increasing the level a little more, we will have Ender's bag. If we keep any object inside this, will magically appear in an Ender's chest. The spare bag will have the same capacity as a medium sack, but with the ability to replace the brushes if they break in mid-flight, as long as you have any stored in this. The broom seat, it will be a mix of a cosmetic seat and a small bag too, allowing an extra player can climb on the same broom. And with this we come to the last section of the broom. The tip in this case we will have for different ones. First we will have the gold rings, solely being a decorative piece. But if we talk about decorations, we will have the key ring. If we put this together with any object we want, we will create a nice keychain for our broom. However, if we want our extra skills, we have the netherite tip, which obviously you will need netherite ingots and the new selenite, a new mineral very similar to amethyst, which only will appear in swamp and jungle biomes. Once equipped, the tip of netherite will allow us to fly through lava, while on the other hand, we will have the waterproof tip, allowing us to fly underwater. And as a complement, we will have the broom shelves, being useful to place your broom in a decorative way. In addition to the broom whistle, of course, this will allow you to link your broom, and at the moment of blowing a whistle, will quickly come to your aid, obviously having a range limit. And in case we want to unlink them, you just have to put them back in place. On a crafting table, crows will be very intelligent animals and misunderstood. They can be tamed with the seed mix, in addition to being able to change their color with dye. Once this is done, now we can access its options menu with shift and right click, where we will first have 3 spaces. The first to give it some weapon that can defend us in battle. The second will be some helmet or hat. And the last one will be a space for talismans. The storing of objects. First, we will have the Ink Amulet. In case our crow plays dead. In the middle of the battle, we'll receive the regeneration effect. But if this one were to really die, the amulet will revive him, as if it were a totem of immortality. We will also have to hit in bars. In the one on the left, we can enable combat and increase or decrease the range in which he will be able to follow us. While the bar on the right side, it will be a kind of white list, more than anything so that the crow would help collect objects. Now, let's talk about the action bar. How to follow us, sit or wander. In addition to a new option that will be helpful. An option that will enable actions. How to pick up objects, harvest or steal from villagers. This option must be enabled to be used with the following. When activating the pickup option, the crow will carry the objects it finds on the ground. If these happen to match the item in a chest or vase, obviously the crow button must be activated. The harvest option will allow the crow collect all nearby crops. This in company from another crow that has the option to collect, making it one of the best additions to the mod. Now, you remember the whitelist option. If we have it activated, and then we right-click on some crop, the crow will only harvest the crop. And finally, we will have the pickpocket option. The latter will allow the crow to steal, every so often, to the villagers, taking the objects to their owner. But if we wanted to have a little more control in our crows, we will be able to create the crow flute. When shift and right-click, we will have to or function is extra. The selection will allow us to select one or more crows. Once this is done, we will have the perch function, and by right-clicking on any block. Now the crow will not be able to stray too far from that area. Owls will be very intelligent creatures, like crows. Only these will be more focused on the postal box, and they will even have their own structure. They can be tamed with rockcod and reproduce with rabbit. In addition to also changing the color with dye, we will be able to interact with them, asking them to follow us or sit down. In addition to having a new menu, where we can put a helmet or a hat on him, as well as a weapon to defend ourselves, and also a small button that will show us your favorite block. This is more than anything to keep him still. These will have the incredible ability to send messages and packages to other players with the help of mail depots. When placing any of these, we will have to give it the name of our base, where they will now reach us. All the emails that our colleagues send us now, well, the way to send mail to another base will be the next one. First, we must have the letter envelope with the sole function of sending written messages. Once we finish our message, we must hold down the sealed button to close our letter, while the other option will be the mail package. In this, we will have 5 spaces to put objects. Again, we will have the sealed button to close the package. And once finished what we want to send, we just have to right-click on our owl and choose your destiny to whom we want to send it, being a very simple and fun process, and which can be very useful on servers with a lot of people. And finally, we will visit all the structures that will be bringing us. This mod, the first, will be the Witch's Hut, an improved version of the classic Witch's House, so it will appear in swamps. We will find various gadgets, like the new cauldron and plants of the mod. The Dark Coven will appear in swamps, being a kind of village with mahogany wooden paths that will take you to different houses full of materials, being the perfect place to stock up on items. And why not even live here? While its counterpart, the Nature Coven, will be much more friendly to the eye, appearing mainly in forests, surrounded by nature, being practically the same, but adding other structures, like the greenhouse or the crow house. Baba Yaga's hut. It will be a kind of house with huge legs. Within this, the most important thing, it will be a witch's broom in the Book of Shadows. And finally, we will have the post office, a small house inhabited by owls, usually appearing in forests. In this one, we won't find much. More than some chests with plants from the mod. This is undoubtedly one of the best magic mods that have ever existed in Minecraft. Well, although it is not focused 100% to spell creation. Like other mods, it gives you a feeling. Totally different and genuinely magical. Very similar to the world of Harry Potter. And I have to say that I enjoyed it very much, reading the guide for this mod. Discovering every little detail down to the smallest detail. And if you can give yourself the opportunity, it is very much worth it. And finally, one more thing. If you are one of the few who arrived up to this point, I tell you that I have created a small mod pack focused totally to this mod. In this one, the Hexerei mod will obviously come, accompanied by other optimization mods, in addition to decorations and food, nothing too exaggerated, so you can enjoy this mod to its fullest splendor. And with all this, or I just have to ask you what you thought of this mod. What caught your attention the most? What was your favorite pet? Owls or crows? Or also, what other magic-themed mod would you like to see appear in an upcoming video? I'll be reading you in the comments. And well guys, I hope you liked it, that they had fun. That's the most important thing for me. And you liked the video, I would ask you to please leave your like. You will comment what you thought of this video. What other types of videos would you like to see on the channel? And also subscribe, that is very important. Remember that witches do not take out iguanas from their hats. And see you in the next video. Ciao.